Hello Capricorn, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We are looking at all three sides of the connection, so we've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have a different tarot deck I'll be pulling from for each side of this connection, as well as the advice deck I'll be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please do remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, the whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. All right, let's jump in. On your side of this connection, Capricorn, you have distance with the Five of Cups here. So I feel as if, first and foremost, there's a distance in this connection. This is someone that you're at a distance from. So it could be someone that, like, you could be in a connection with them, but, you know, things just feel really distant. They feel really distant, or there is like a physical distance in between you two. There's a separation here. The universe is asking you to take a step back and try to see things from a different perspective, because you're very disappointed. There's a lot of sadness regarding this connection. And in particular, I feel like there's a lot of sadness regarding the distance in between this connection. However, I feel as if the universe was protecting you in a way, some way, somehow, because their side, and this is where things get a little interesting, they have sneaky with the Six of Cups in reverse. So they're not being totally upfront here. There's not a total, there's very little actually clarity coming from their side of things. Now, the Six of Cups in reverse this is an energy of, like, this is a habit, like a pattern for them. Like something from their past continues to come back up, a pattern, a habit. It's kind of that energy of, like, this person isn't changing. So the outcome of their connections isn't changing. Like, things just kind of keep repeating for them in their life. But yeah, I feel like this person is not being totally honest with you. Now, I just kind of realized something. There's binoculars here. I feel like you know this. Like, you know this person. Like, you can see it. You can see through them or see it from afar. Like, you can tell they're not being honest. You can tell that they're being, I don't know, not great here. I don't know what it is, though. We'll see when we dive into tarot, because I don't know if they're just outright lying to you. I don't know. And I want to get more information before I try to piece that together. Now, in between the connection, you have power with the Two of Cups. So now is a time to work on very much taking your power back from this connection, because I feel as if this person has quite a bit of control over you, like over your emotions, which is understandable. You know, when we love and care about someone and we, respect their opinion and we want them to, treat us the way that we deserve, and they don't, it's going to affect us, right? But the overall theme for this reading is transformation here. So there's this need to, I feel like this connection is pushing you into a personal transformation. But that transformation can't happen. It's a very positive personal transformation, but it can't happen until you fully kind of take your power back here. And I know that sounds vague, but I feel like we'll get a lot more detail on that as we dive into tarot, which we're going to do right now. So Capricorn, let's start with looking at your side of this. You have distance with the Five of Cups. Capricorn's energy toward this person. Because you're disappointed about something, the way this person treated you, the way that things happened. But the universe is saying, this might actually be for the better here. Capricorn side of the connection. See, you really wanted this to work out. You have this 9 of Cups with the 3 of Wands in reverse. You look at this connection as a wish fulfillment. Really wanting this person to, really wanting your connection to this person to work out. Now, the 3 of Wands in reverse, this is an energy of waiting. But waiting for a little too long. Waiting without action. Waiting. Because I feel like you have been waiting. You've been waiting on them in some way, shape, or form. Waiting on them to change, waiting on them to choose you, waiting on them to be better, whatever the case might be. You've been waiting. Because you're like, well, when we get to this point or when this happens, then I'm going to be happy because I'm going to get my wish fulfillment. But that's why I feel like you continue to get disappointed here, is because you keep waiting, but this person is stuck in their past. Now, I'm not talking about like in a person from their past. I just mean like they're caught up in something that I feel has nothing to do with you. Like a pattern, a cycle, karmic maybe. And I feel like, I don't know, yeah, there's this energy of waiting and the universe is saying, you don't want to wait on this because, I don't know. I'm going to keep pulling before I try to dive too deep into that. Capricorn side of this connection. Not being honest with yourself about something here. Ace of Cups in reverse. It's like not wanting to see like rose-colored glasses in a way, seeing things through the lens or seeing this person through the lens of how you want them to be or how you want things to be, but not how they are. Because you feel like you and this person were like meant to be. Like you feel like this person's your soulmate. You're like, I found, and I feel like that's why you're so willing to wait and almost like put aside your needs for this person while they, I don't know, whatever they're doing, figure out whatever. But through this period, I'm sure you expected like clear communication and honesty, and I don't feel as if that exists here. Because there's not a lot of clarity going on here. This is Capricorn side of this connection. Capricorn side of the connection to the person they're dealing with. Oh my gosh, so many reverse cards. Page of Swords in reverse. The Hangman. Because there's no communication here. You're not communicating what you want or need from this connection. Now, maybe you tried and it didn't go anywhere, so you were like, well, there's no point in trying. But I do feel as if it's like you're not communicating what you want and what you need, and you're kind of waiting for this person to become what it is you want and need, or to show up as the person that you want and need them to be. But it's like they continue not to do that, and that continues to bring you disappointment, and you start to feel, but that's why you need a new perspective. Because it's not so cut and dry. It's not so black and white. I feel like there's a lot more going on here than, which typically is the case, than like meets the eye. So let's see what they're dealing with. This person's energy toward Capricorn. What does Capricorn need to know about this person's energy toward them? Person's energy toward Capricorn. Six of Pentacles in reverse. There you are. Queen of Pentacles, Six of Wands in reverse, Ace of Swords in reverse. So many reverse. It's like the absence of all of these things. Absence of clarity, absence of communication, absence of reciprocation. It's like this connection is missing so many things that are necessary for a happy, healthy connection. Now, I'm not saying it didn't at one point have those things. But here's the thing. This person is not giving you, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, what it is that but it's like they're aware of that. They're aware that they're not giving you what you're giving them, or like what it is that you ultimately deserve. And that's what's a little sketchy about this energy, is because I feel like they're like, yeah, no, I'm not giving Capricorn what Capricorn's giving me. Like, but I don't know why. And maybe they think they are. But like deep down, I don't know. This person has some sketchy energy. Okay, this person's energy toward Capricorn. I'm not saying they're a bad person. I don't know. The way that they're acting is a little sketchy. This person's energy toward Capricorn. Because they're not reciprocating, but they'll continue to take whatever it is you're giving them. And I think that that's where I don't like it, is they're like, it's not like they're setting a boundary and saying, I can't be this for you, like, and then cutting off. I feel like they're continuing to like take what you give them, but they're not reciprocating. This person's energy toward Capricorn. I'm sure they have their reasons. We all do, but it just kind of feels a little selfish. They have the Ace of Wands here. I feel like they do have like feelings for you, if this is romantic, or like they feel a connection here with the Ace of Wands. I do feel like they feel that connection, but I feel as if it's like they're not showing up for it at all. I don't know why that's the case, or what they're prioritizing instead, because again, remember, this is kind of a theme for them when they get to like this point in a relationship or in a connection with someone. I feel like this is kind of how they act. They pull back, they get sneaky. This person's energy toward Capricorn. This person's energy toward Capricorn. They have feelings for you, but it's like they're I'm a little confused here, Capricorn. I'm not going to lie. Knight of what? Straight up self-sabotage. And that's what I was trying to say. It's like when they get to this point in a connection, it's like, because the Knight of Wands in reverse, that's also this inability to be vulnerable, this inability to put themselves out there. And I feel like this connection got to a point where that was required. You were like, okay, we're at this point in a connection. I need you to be vulnerable. I need you to be open. I need you to try. I need you to commit. Like all of these things that are natural in the progression of a healthy relationship. And they said, no, I'm not going to do that. But instead of like being upfront and clear and being like, I am emotionally unavailable. Maybe they don't have the self-awareness to do this, but being like, I'm emotionally unavailable. I don't have the ability to commit. It's like this energy of keeping you around, continuing to take what you give them while knowing that they're not giving back. And I don't like that. Now, here's the thing. Your first instinct is going to be, oh, that makes me feel used, or that makes me feel like this has nothing to do with you. This just kind of seems, especially with the Six of Cups in reverse, like this is just the way that this person treats people. Like, I don't feel like it has anything to do with your value or with like specifically you individually. In fact, I would go as far as to say is this is not the first time this person has done this to someone or like acted this way to someone. And I feel like that's why the like theme of this reading was taking your power back, because you know, you're obviously disappointed at the way this person is acting, as anyone would be. This is not, you know, really awesome behavior. But it doesn't have anything to do with you. And it doesn't, this person's inability to show up for this connection in the way that you deserve does not indicate your value. It indicates their emotional level of emotional intelligence and their abilities or capacity to love, which literally is completely separate from having anything to do with you. So I don't know. It's kind of a selfish energy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep going here. Capricorn side of the connection toward this person. It's they're trying to be sneaky about it, but I feel like you're like, I know what's going on. I know. I don't know. Okay, Capricorn side of this connection. This is Capricorn's energy toward this person. Capricorn's energy toward this person, please. This is starting to really affect your confidence. Because this person, the King of Swords, they're not being honest with you. And there's a little bit of gaslighting type of energy, telling you what you want to hear. I feel like what this reading is about is saying your intuition is 100% right about this person. They're not being clear, they're not being honest, they're not being upfront, but you can't do anything about that, right? You can't control someone. You can't change someone. And when someone hurts you, there's nothing you can do to fix that. So what can you do? Because if this is about taking your power back, how can you do that? Because here's the thing. The more this person behaves this way, the more you start to get affected, your confidence level starts to get affected. You start to feel like, oh, well, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not valuable, or maybe this, or maybe that. And I feel like the reason for that is because you're taking, as anyone would, this person's actions very personally. It's a personal relationship, that makes sense. But I feel like the reason you're needing a new perspective here is because the universe is asking you to say, well, what if it isn't personal at all? And what if this is just kind of how this person rolls? And I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's justified. What I am saying is that it doesn't have to affect you on such a deep level whenever you can see that from that perspective and say, how other people treat us and how other people's capacity to love us is a direct reflection of them. And no, it's not okay. And yes, it's painful. And yes, you're allowed to be angry. But it doesn't mean that you can't have what you need in love. It doesn't mean that you are not deserving of whatever it is that you desire in your relationships. It literally just means that this person can't be that for you. And that's painful and that hurts, absolutely. But it also allows you to view things from this perspective of maybe the universe was actually protecting me from getting more hurt because this person has these behaviors and this, limited capacity to love or whatever the case is, instead of looking at it from they didn't choose me and this didn't, I guess that what I'm trying to say is there's nothing you could have done to make this person act different. If this is a pattern for them, if this is something that, because with the Six of Cups in reverse, this is something that has repeated for them time and time again. This is a behavior, something that just keeps repeating in their life and in their relationship. So it doesn't have anything to do with you, right? There's nothing that you could have done differently to make this person love you or value you in the way that you deserve. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have that. Let's get more. Capricorn side of the connection to this person. Seven of Cups. Six of Wands and Two of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. Here's the problem I feel like this person, it's like who you know they can be and the potential that you see, and maybe you even saw it in the beginning of a connection. You're like, this could be so good. And that's why it aligns so much with your wish fulfillment and with your emotional desires, is because you're like, man, if this worked out, like this could be so good. There's all of these makings of being a very healthy, very positive relationship, but they continue to show up as someone completely different than that potential that you see in them. And I feel like that's where you're getting really confused, is because or overwhelmed, or where you're like, what's real, what's not? Because, you know, when people treat us a certain way, we start asking ourselves questions like, was any of it real? Did they ever even care? Was it all a lie? And what I feel like is necessary and important for you to hear is like, yeah, with the Ace of Wands, like they have feelings for you, they feel a connection here. But at the same time, they don't know how to show up or be in that healthy connection. You know, someone loving you and someone knowing how to love you are two very, very different things. Someone knowing how to love you is someone who has done the work, who has done the self-reflection, who has dove into their past, who takes accountability for their behaviors, who clearly communicates, who knows how to, you know, who is in touch with their emotions and knows how to communicate those. And this person doesn't have those tools, right? And I feel like you're looking at this connection and you're saying, well, why won't they do this? Why won't they choose me? Why won't they show up for this? Why am I not good enough? And in reality, the universe is asking you to look at this from a place of, what about this connection, or like this person's behavior in this connection has nothing to do with you and has everything to do with them. And you can't change people, you can't control people, you can't shame people into change, you cannot change people. But what you can do is figure out where your power lies. And it all starts with a shift in perspective, with being able to say, okay, if how this person treated me had nothing to do with me and everything to do with them, how can I take my power back? How can I see that, you know, who I am is good enough? What I gave to this is enough. And their inability to see that doesn't have anything to do with me. It has everything to do with them. And that can help you in that moment go from this place of, I'm not good enough for them, to, this person wasn't good enough for me. They didn't have what it took to be in the kind of connection that I'm looking for. Capricorn side of this connection with the person they are dealing with. This is Capricorn side of this connection, please. I feel like you know the truth. I feel like you know. It's like you know this person's capacity to love. You know they're not going to change. But you hold out because there's a part of you that thinks if they don't, you're never going to have what it is that you truly desire and love. You think that. That's not true, but that's what you think. And one of the things I've learned in our relationships is when we feel as if we're never going to have what we need or what we desire in our relationships, we're going to take what we can get. And we're going to try to either change that into something, or we're going to settle for it, accept way less than what we deserve until there's resentment there. Resentment's going to go either way, because we're going to resent someone for not changing, or we're going to resent someone for treating us the way they always have. And when we're willing to look at ourselves and say, like, okay, why don't I believe I'm deserving of love? Why don't I believe I can have the love that I truly desire? And why do I believe that it has to come from this person? What trauma is this person triggering in me? What limiting beliefs is this person triggering in me? What beliefs about love that I've been taught is this person bringing up for me? And that can help you kind of get to the bottom of what's really going on. Because when we look at things from the surface, our first perspective is going to be through our limiting beliefs and insecurities. So we're going to view people's actions immediately through our insecurities. And we're going to look at it as from this place of, oh, they're doing this because I'm not attractive enough, or I'm not intelligent enough, or I'm not good enough for them. Instead of just saying, this person is emotionally unavailable. They don't have what it takes to love me in the way that I deserve. Now, what I need to figure out is, why do I keep attracting emotionally unavailable people into my life? Why did I attract this person in my life? What is the lesson behind this? So I can go through this personal transformation, take my power back, and open myself up to the love I'm truly deserving of. Again, this is about shifting your perspective to what it is that you can control, because you can't control them. This person's energy toward Capricorn. I'm not saying this person's behavior is okay. What I am saying is you have the power to remove yourself from their own personal battles. This person's energy toward Capricorn. Not listening to their intuition, limiting beliefs. Oh, okay. They're not in touch with themselves at all. Like, they don't have, in any healthy relationship, we all have traumas and triggers. So in any healthy relationship, we have to be so aware of those that we don't allow them to dictate our movement, choices, and decisions. But what that requires to be is being deeply in tune with our needs, our thoughts, our feelings, like I said, our traumas, our triggers, so that we can respond instead of react. This person is in full reaction, just doing whatever they can do to survive, to get through, to get by, regardless of who it impacts in their path. And that is the core of hurt people. And I feel like that's very much what is coming up about this person. I don't feel like they're being totally honest about their intentions here, but I ultimately feel a big part of that is they don't want to commit, but they also don't want to lose this. They don't want to lose you. They have feelings for you, but they don't want to commit to that, because that's scary. That requires vulnerability. That requires them to be, honest and open about their feelings and face themselves and things that this person, and really nobody who has done the healing, anyone who hasn't done the healing isn't going to want to do those things, because that's where the healing lies, is when you do those things. So what you're needing to ask yourself is, does this really have anything to do with you not being good enough for them? Or is this about their inability to match your capacity to love and to have the love that you're truly deserving of? Because that is kind of the perspective that the universe is trying to get you to take on here. This person's energy toward Capricorn. Seven of Pentacles with the Two of Pentacles in reverse. They're investing in things that, this is unaligned priorities right here. This is investing in things that aren't good for them. Investing in things that aren't, that aren't good for them. That aren't in alignment with their highest good. And, I've said this a lot in when we were dealing with connections, is because I often get the question, okay, if they didn't have the capacity to love me and give me everything that I wanted, then how come they moved on to this person and they were able to give that person everything that they wanted? And I'm not saying they've done that, okay? But what you have to understand is your energy is going to trigger people, especially when you come into a connection knowing who you are and knowing what your needs are and being able to communicate and being in touch with your emotions and your feelings. That's going to push somebody in ways that's going to make them uncomfortable, which is a good thing. That's how you grow. Relationships are about growth. But if that person isn't open to the growth and open to handling that stuff, they're not going to handle that in a healthy way. And what they're going to do is they're going to react rather than respond. They're going to pull back their energy. They're going to sabotage. And they're going to look for whatever it is that lets them not have to grow. And I feel like your energy in this connection, you were pushing this person to grow. Waiting on them to change, right? You're saying, I need you to be more than, I need you to be, I need you to show up more. I need you to be honest with me, whatever the case is. You were asking for what you needed, to the point where I feel like you stopped asking altogether, because you were like, it doesn't really matter because nothing that I say matters, but still waiting on this person to change. but they don't want to change. So they're going to try to find what doesn't require them to grow. And that's what you're needing to know, and where I feel like we have to learn that it never has anything to do with us and what it is that we are able to have. But we attach ourselves to certain people because they remind us of our limiting beliefs that we have about being loved. We often will search for love in the people who make us feel unlovable. If we don't feel lovable ourselves, if we don't feel good enough ourselves, we'll often search for that validation in people who make us feel not good enough. Because a part of us thinks, if this person doesn't see my value, then I must not be valuable, because they remind you of the dynamics you have in not feeling good enough. This person's energy toward Capricorn. So I feel like you're needing to get a little bit more in tune with yourself here, right? Listening to your intuition, lack of accountability. There's the death card here. I feel like they're not open to change. They're fine being in this self-sabotaging pattern. They're okay with that. Now, I feel like that's where you're like, how could they be okay with that? They're hurting, people, they're hurting me. And that's where you have to understand, hurt people really do hurt people. They lack, the empathy to be able to understand how their actions are affecting you. And that's why you can't, this is one of those connections where you're really needing to protect yourself here. And I ultimately feel as if the universe, because of the distance created in this connection, the universe was very much protecting you in this. By trying, by not letting you get any more hurt than you already are or have been in this connection. So the distance, it doesn't feel like it, because to you, you're wanting things to be better, but the distance is a good thing. It's the universe's way of protecting you from more pain and more hurt here. Because if it's already making you feel not good enough, imagine if this went on for longer. The more that someone affects your self-worth and the way that you view yourself, the more you're going to lose yourself in search of that person's validation to make you feel good enough, to make you feel worthy. And when we do that, we completely give over our power and we say, you determine my value, you determine my worth, which is never true. Nobody gets to determine that but you. But I feel that there's been this kind of dynamic that's been created where you're looking for this person to value you or make you feel good enough because of how much they've made you feel not valuable and not good enough. But I encourage you to kind of ask yourself, if this person doesn't have the capacity to love in the way that you do, then why are you valuing their opinion over yours? Genuinely ask yourself that question, and you might get a little bit closer to what's really going on here, so you can start to pull your power back here. In between the connection, you have power with the Two of Cups. I'm going to hop on over to the extended and pull 9 different messages, and then I have the advice card to pull at the very end. Thank you so much, Capricorn, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Capricorn, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Capricorn.